Hello everyone, Alicia here with another lightened up Weight Watcher friendly recipe, and today I'm going to be showing you my new favorite way to make pizza, or I should say my new favorite pizza crust, and that is 2-ingredient cottage cheese pizza crust. This 2-ingredient high protein pizza crust is a perfect way to satisfy that pizza craving in a healthier way. Simply add your favorite toppings to it and you're going to have delicious pizza that the whole family is going to love. Let me jump over to ingredients real quick and I'll show you what you're gonna need to make this. So here's what you're gonna need to make this. I will have a full detailed ingredient list, instructions, all of that good stuff over on my website, but I'll go over ingredients real quick. You're gonna need some cottage cheese and self-rising flour for the crust, and that's all there is to that. For toppings today, I'm just showing you my go-to, what I'd like to put on this, but this is super versatile. You can put whatever it is ingredient-wise you want. I'm gonna be using some marinara sauce, some part skim mozzarella, a little bit of turkey pepperoni, Italian seasoning, and then some olive oil for the crust. And that is everything. Let me get it started. The first thing you're gonna do is get your oven preheating to 450 Fahrenheit, and then you're gonna take your cottage cheese, which is 1 cup. And this is a 2% cottage cheese. I'll show you the brand I'm using. It is the Dairy Gold 2%. And just a little note on this, the brand of cottage cheese you use is going to make a difference in this dough. They all have a different amount of moisture, so you're gonna see a little bit of variation in the dough just based on the brand that you're gonna be using. But again, I'm using Dairy Gold today, so I'm gonna take this, and then in this NutriBullet cup here, I'm gonna add it in because I'm gonna get this blended up. Now you don't have to blend your cottage cheese if you don't want to. I just think it makes the dough a little better consistency. I just like how it turns out, I should say. Better when you do blend it, but you don't have to if you don't want. So I'm going to grab my NutriBullet and I'm gonna just get this blended until it's nice and smooth. So I just blended that for probably 20 seconds. It's nice and smooth, so I'm gonna grab myself a bowl. So in this medium-sized bowl, I'm gonna add in 1 cup of self-rising flour. And then to that, I'm gonna add in my blended cottage cheese. And a little tip on the self-rising flour, if you don't have it, it's really easy to make. You just take a cup of flour, add 1.5 teaspoons baking powder, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's all there is to making your own self-rising flour. So now I'm gonna just stir the 2 of those together until a dough starts to form. Another thing with this dough, I'm just showing you the very basic version of it. You can absolutely add seasoning to it. You could add like garlic, you could add Italian, whatever, just to give it a little more pizzazz. I'm just showing it again, just its basic form today, but you can definitely get creative with this and make it your own. Okay, my dough is starting to form here. So now I'm gonna grab something to pour it out on. Got a cutting board here and I'm gonna just lightly flour it. And I did factor in an 1/8 cup of the self-rising flour to knead and roll out this dough, because typically you're gonna need at least some to do that. And that is where kind of the cottage cheese, the type you use, is going to come into effect as well, because again, if you're using a cottage cheese with more moisture than what I'm using, you might need more flour than that. But as I said, I've got an 1/8 of a cup factored in. So I'm gonna just knead this for probably a couple minutes just to get it combined. I kneaded this dough for about 2-3 minutes. Here's how it's looking. So now I'm gonna grab myself a pizza pan. I've got a 12-inch pizza pan here, and I'm gonna spritz it with a little bit of olive oil. This is a non-stick pan, but add that little bit of olive oil just to ensure my dough doesn't get stuck, and it's gonna give it a little extra crispiness too. So now I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna take my dough and I'm gonna roll it out to roughly the shape of that pan. So roughly a 12-inch circle. Okay, I've got this rolled out in a rough 12-inch circle. So now I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put it on my pan. The nice thing about this dough is it's very easy to work with, kind of manipulate it on the pan if you don't have it quite right when you roll it out. So I've got this pressed in here pretty well. So now I'm going to spritz it with some more olive oil. And now I'm going to bake just the crust in my preheated oven at 450 Fahrenheit for about 8 minutes. And that's just to kind of get a nice seal on this, so when I put my toppings on, it's not gonna get soggy. So I'm gonna put this in the oven, like I said, for about 8 minutes, and then I'll be back. All right, I let this bake for 8 minutes. I've just got it over here on a little heat protected mat. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my ingredients to it, starting with a half cup of marinara. Now this is my homemade marinara. I do have a video that I'll link down below and up above if you want to check it out. It is a point per half cup. So I'm gonna just add that on there. And that being said, you can use whatever type of marinara or pizza sauce that you want. I'm gonna just spread this on here. And this already smells so good. And next up, I've got a cup or 4 ounces of part skim mozzarella. I'm gonna just sprinkle that on. And like I said in the beginning, this, you can just put whatever type of cheese, whatever type of toppings you prefer. This one is just super simple, and my son actually really, really loves it like this. So this is one of the reasons I like to make just this really simple version, but you can definitely put veggies or whatever you want. All right, now I'm gonna add some turkey pepperoni. I've got 16 slices here. I'm just gonna put those on. And now I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit of Italian seasoning on. Red pepper flakes are also really good on this, but again, since my son's gonna be eating this, he's not a real big fan of that. So if I was just making it for my husband and I would definitely add red pepper flakes as well. All right, this is now ready to go back in the oven, still at 450 Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna leave it in there just until this cheese is nice and melted. So probably about 5 minutes, but I will be back at that point. All right, I let that bake an additional 5 minutes. Cheese is nice and melted, smelling delicious. So I'm gonna let this cool just a couple minutes before I cut it up. We'll be back. I'll show you what a serving size is, and I'll have my hubby tell you how it tastes. All right, I've let this cool a couple minutes. Now I'm gonna take it off the pan here and slice it up. Okay, so I've got this all sliced up into 8 slices. And an 1/8 is the serving size that I've got factored in, and that is gonna be 4 points. So hopefully you can see what the crust looks like. I'll have my husband tell you what it tastes like. Okay, got my husband here. Say hello. He's tired. You've had this before. It's the 2-ingredient dough, but it's with cottage cheese. Now,
so I haven't had this before.
No, you have had it before.
With the cottage cheese?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm just saying that because we are big into the 2-ingredient dough with the Greek yogurt.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a little different way I've been doing it, and it's kind of my favorite way of it, of the pizza crust anyway. I think it's really good with cottage cheese.
I just eat what you give me. I don't know what's in there.
This one's the cottage cheese. Are we on the same page?
Look at how lovely that is.
It is very lovely.
It's like you and crust for.
Oh, nice. That being said, we absolutely love the 2-ingredient dough with Greek yogurt. I'll link my pizza video on that. But I do think this is a little bit better.
So, the main difference for me is that it's, I guess you would say it's more savory. Mm-hmm. Because the Greek yogurt adds a little bit of a tang.
Yeah.
And this is...
which you don't get with this one.
More earthy, maybe.
It tastes more, I think you said before, it tastes more like pizza crust.
It's more, yeah, I would say this is more like a traditional crust. It's wonderful.
Yeah, than the one with the yogurt.
Yeah.
Which I love the one with the yogurt. This is just a little more similar, I think, to your classic pizza crust.
Yeah.
But it's got a more savory flavor. It's a little crispier, I think. Flakier, maybe. I don't know. Which is probably why I think it's a little more traditional pizza.
Really good.
But it's very good.
Yeah.
4 points. It's a little bit higher because it's got the cottage cheese instead of the fat-free Greek yogurt. That being said, you can use fat-free cottage cheese, but I just prefer it with a little bit of milk fat.
Results may vary.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a similar result, but I don't think the flavor is a little bit better, I think. With
It's really good.
With the 2%. Yeah, it is really good. Our son absolutely loves this. So it's definitely family friendly. But yeah, what do you think? 4 points per slice. They're not huge slices. But if this was...
How much is it for 2 slices?
I don't know. With Weight Watcher math. It could be 8, it could be 9, it could be 7.
It's very, very satisfying. So, if you're wanting to scratch a
Pizza itch,
it's totally worth the points.
Yeah. All right. You can have 2. You're looking at it.
Yes.
All right,
really
guys.
good.
I'll put the points for 2 on the screen. Anyway, guys, this was 2-ingredient cottage cheese pizza crust. If this one sounds good to you, looks good to you, you want to check it out, be sure to look down in the description box below this video where you will find a link to this recipe over on my website where you'll find the full list of ingredients, instructions, WW points, nutritional info, all that and more is going to be over on my website. But thank you guys as always for watching, and we will see you on the next one.